The plot of the Owl House makes the story so compelling. As we follow through Luce's life, we see her and many other characters' developments. We see their lives along with focusing on the magical aspects of this new world. Luce, the main character, is said to have an overactive imagination.
And what were you going to do with this?
That was for the Act 3 closer.
Mija, I love your creativity, but it's gotten out of hand.
She was packed to go on a 3-month summer camp where she would be taught to be normal and keep her imagination at bay. But while she was waiting for the bus to come, she was accidentally led to a magical world full of wonder, the Boiling Isles. She met Ida the Owl Lady, King, Albert, and Hooty. Luckily for Luce, she was told that if she helped them retrieve King's crown, they would help her get back home. Upon retrieving King's crown, Luce decides to stay in the Boiling Isles so she could learn to become a witch. Through the story in Season 1, we see many of her adventures. We get to view the world from someone who is also new to it. Luce finds the dangers and wonders of the new world. Back in the human world, her fantasy ways were shut away because they were not the norm. But in the fantasy world, she could be as goofy as she wanted. Combined with Ida, who is also an outcast and weirdo, made an amazing team. King, Ida's child, a small creature that was known as the King of Demons, was also shown to have a story that would later on be explored a lot more. We are introduced to Willow, Gus, Amity, and other classmates that would soon become Luce's best friends. And for the fun in their life, their ignorance and annoyance by Hooty becomes a fast way to make us laugh. Seeing the stories is absolutely incredible. For when Season 1 starts to Season 3 ends, they seem to always manage to keep up their story. They explore the aspects of each character while keeping the story moving. They keep their wants and needs and improve with each episode. The interesting timelines and cool episodes where they explore the time itself make the story make sense. Luce finds herself learning more and more about the background of each character and how everything came to be the way it is. In the Owl House, messages are a common occurrence. Each episode, they go through some kind of slice-of-life adventure and learn something from it. They may learn it through their own experiences or learning to acknowledge others' perspectives. Many times the message is portrayed in an exaggerated way, seeking to show the minds of the people who mess things up. In an example, in Season 2, Episode 16, The Hollow Mind, Hunter and Luce travel to the mind of the Emperor Bellows by complete accident. While Hunter remains loyal and tries to figure out a way to get out his uncle's mind, Luce uses this in Part 2. Luce uses this as an opportunity to figure out who Bellows really is. They travel through a few memories, accidentally trapping the monster that lurked within Bellows' mind. We are revealed the true intentions by interacting with Bellows and Hunter. Hunter is revealed to be a clone of Bellows' deceased brother, Caleb, who he had murdered. The message of the episode is that despite Hunter being Bellows' only family, Bellows ends up manipulating and making Hunter believe that he's the good guy, justifying his bad actions by blaming it on the Titan's will. A person who everyone trusts and thinks they know turns out to be a horrible person whose only interest is to manipulate and deceive. This is not the only occurrence of such messages, there are many others. In the show, the representation of not only LGBTQ+ is shown, but addiction, abuse, neglect, and many other topics are tackled. The main character, Luce, is the first canon bisexual character, and Amity Blight, her former girlfriend, turns out to be canonically lesbian, which is not something you'd come across often on networks such as Disney. As well as plus-size characters, not only males, but females, gaining important roles and love interests. And we all know and love Rain Whispers, Ida's ex-partner. They were first shown in Season 2, Ida's Requiem, as well as the Collector, both being canonically non-binary characters, using they-them pronouns and being important to the story. This is something that has come a long way to exist, especially making the characters be big parts of the story. Without Rain, we wouldn't get Ida's backstories or interesting rebellions such as the Bards Against the Throne, aka the Bats, which was changed to the Cats, the Covens Against the Throne. The Collector, seeming to have no association with reality, can take shape and form into practically anything when they're free. So much as Double Trouble from She-Ra. One gender is simply not a way to describe them. There is so much to say about the Owl House and its amazing journey. The final episode is already done and it will be released on April 8th of 2023. I made a Discord server for those who want to join, and as an animator, I want to use my powers for a good special episode to practically wrap everything up and conclude the amazing way this series came to an end. As for predictions, here are some of the predictions I will make for Season 3, Episode 3. I think that the last episode, the Collector will end up being talked to and understood, just like Luce would. The Collector will realize the amazing opportunity to have Luce and her family and friends be around, therefore ending his chaos and boiling owls and giving up his powers to be a human or witchlet, and becoming a child for Camila. I think the Collector will end up finding a way to for Luce to be able to travel between realms so she doesn't have to choose, and will ultimately stay in the Boiling Isles while visiting her mom and the Collector. Also, I really hope that View finds a sweet home to live in, and Bellows takes his punishment from the Collector by being trapped in the dimension of 1,000,000 mirrors, before the Collector gives up his powers. There's no way for me to think that the show will end up on a bad note, and I really hope that this show will make its way to a happy ending. Thank you, Dana Terrace, for creating such a masterpiece, and all the people who put in that hard work in the show. It's come a long way, and I will forever keep it at my top first favorites to rewatch. So considering all this, The Owl House is much better than just good. It's amazing, absolutely breathtaking, and one of the most amazing things I have ever watched. Like every show, there are some problems that I would like to share, and what I will say has become quite controversial within the fandom. But that is mostly to blame on those who haven't fully watched the show or don't understand the concepts of it. The biggest problem that I have is with Season 1. In the first few episodes, we are welcomed to the first show with a rush. Much of the world building comes down to the first few episodes, the basic introduction. Many people think the way Ida acted in the first episode was irrational, and in a way, I agree. That's not to say I don't like her, but to say the way she wanted to get the human up in her and King's business was generally out of the blue. It felt a bit rushed and forced. It was a way they met. It gave Luce a chance to go on an adventure before she was able to get her chance to go home. So despite the pacing being a bit off in the first couple episodes, I can wholeheartedly say that I can forgive it, seeing as that made up with absolutely amazing pacing later on. Yes, sometimes the characters are supposed to be one thing, and they become a whole other, and it can be confusing. When we were introduced to Lilith, she was known as a mighty Covenhead who helped Bellows with practically anything. As she is ordered to bring her sister to Bellows, she undergoes a slow transformation from being a Covenhead who obeys the leader to a mistrustful redeemed friend. It happens suddenly when Bellows decides to use petrification on Ida after Lilith helped capture her. Bellows, knowing Lilith would be dumb enough to fall for the fact that she wanted to heal Ida's curse, she agreed and fulfilled her promise of getting Ida to him. While the petrification was going on, she decided to seek out Luce out of all people to try to talk to her while attacking her at the same time. Luce, rightfully scared and upset, didn't listen to Lilith until she completely was out of magic in the human realm. As to say, that could have gone better. And on a funnier note, Kikimiki's constant mission flops, from when she set a parade on fire to when she was talking about how she would do anything so that Bellows wouldn't win, she was one of the most ridiculously funny villains that there is. In a way, this story makes you think about your own life and experiences because it really is relatable. I can't say that for many shows, especially cartoons. For now, I can only hope that this show will be readapted or somehow comes back in the future. But that's all for now. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.